I find President Biden's new energy policy to be surreal. Work to become energy independent. Now President Biden wants to change all that. He wants us to stop producing oil and gas, give up our energy independence, and his new policy is that we should buy oil and gas from foreign countries that hate us, like Russia, so those foreign countries will have more money to buy. I will wait until you stop laughing. Unless you identify as an idiot, you can see the national security implications of this. So why, you ask, is the president doing this? Because he wants to make happy the woke neo-socialist cupcakes that have taken over the Democratic Party.
Do you think those cupcakes see what's going on?
Well, the cupcakes don't see it, but let me give you a fact. Europe has 1,000 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. They just have refused to produce it. They said, oh, we can trust Russia. We'll buy it from Russia. Because President Biden has decided we can't produce any fossil fuels anymore because they're dirty. That's why I say it's surreal.
It is surreal.
The Biden administration has to be able to make a decision. Currently, they're dominated by an environmentalist perspective that somehow Saudi Arabia and Russia are producing energy cleaner than the United States. And they're so consumed with the green footprint of the United States that they're ignoring even their own numbers. If you look at the Biden administration numbers and you look at their numbers and say, what will the worldwide oil and gas usage be in 2050, they continue to show increasing numbers. But at the same time, they're trying to decrease production in the United States by new requirements on FERC, on pipelines, new requirements on export for natural gas, continue to be able to limit access to capital through the Federal Reserve, through the nominees that are in place. They're continuing to find ways to produce less in America, even though their own numbers show there will be a greater need in 2050 than what there is now. What they're really saying is, we don't want to produce that in America. We want Russia and OPEC to be able to produce it, even though it needs to be done and will be done. In a committee hearing yesterday here in the United States Senate, one of my Democrat colleagues said, what we need to do is to tell the people in Europe that we will produce heat pumps for you, and then we need to start producing more heat pumps here in America. Well, I'm sure that really is very comforting to the people of Europe that in the next 15 to 20 years we'll produce enough heat pumps to ship to you while you're cut off from oil and have no access to natural gas to heat your homes.
I just heard my friends on the other side say, let's follow the money. Let's follow the money. Mr. Speaker, right now, under this administration, we have gone from buying approximately 76,000 barrels of crude oil a day to surging to 198,000 barrels of crude oil every single day. Money. I hear my friends on the other side talk about emissions. Oh, we can't do these things because it's going to cause greater emissions. Let's once again look at the facts, Mr. Speaker. Under the previous administration, on average, emissions went down 2.5% a year. Under President Biden, they have increased 6.3% every single year. Let's follow the money. You know who's paying that money? It's the Americans that can least afford it. Whether it's the $12 extra every single time they're filling up their vehicle with gas, whether it's the $700 to $1,700 a year in extra electricity payments that Americans are paying this year to heat their homes. Mr. Speaker, yes, let's follow the money, because the people in America that can least afford it, they're the ones that are paying the bill for these irresponsible, ill-advised energy policies that, Mr. Speaker, you can go back and look at the record. We're the ones who advocated otherwise. Here's the deal. This administration has stopped offshore production, prevented new lease sales, prevented onshore production. This majority has tried to impose a $10,000 per year, per mile pipeline fee, tried to raise royalty fees, increase severance taxes on energy, on domestic energy. Do you think Vladimir Putin's doing the same thing to Russian energy? I can answer that, Mr. Speaker. Absolutely not. The policies that this bill fixes are the errors that this administration and this majority in Congress made in imposing this energy crisis on us, in raising energy prices for Americans that can least afford it. Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry that the facts don't yield or don't result in the narrative that my friends on the other side are trying to establish. Let's be clear at why we have an energy crisis in America.
And for the last year, the Biden administration has done everything they can to stifle the production of American oil and gas. To the extent the president even talked about energy in his speech last night, he simply made pipe dream promises about green energy that maybe will come true in a decade or two. In fact, the president only mentioned oil once last night in that entire speech when he bragged about releasing 30 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which wouldn't fuel our country for even 2 days. What we need is not half measures. We need a sustained, reliable, and affordable flow of American energy. That's why I'm here to ask for unanimous consent for my bill ordering the Biden administration to start issuing new oil and gas leases for federal lands. It won't solve all of our problems, but it's an important and immediate step that we can take to start producing the American oil and gas